Yeah, like the whole podcast is a little weird. Okay, the life and legacy of John MacArthur. I thought this podcast was the MacArthur Center for Expository Preaching. Where's the preaching, y'all? Like, where's the, oh, this is what it means to preach the word of God. It ain't there. It's built on the fame of John MacArthur. That's what that podcast is really all about. And, if you want to have that, that's fine. Just call it The Life and Legacy of John MacArthur. Have it be a separate podcast. Don't be like, oh, this is all about expository preaching. And then we're not talking about preaching at all. Yeah. In this last episode, MacArthur and His Critics. And I listened to it as best I could. And it was all about like the early days, which, I learned some things. I know John MacArthur. I have most of his books. I came from that world. And up until just a couple years ago, I was like, well, I disagree with him on a few things. Now I'm just like, oh man. But I learned some things. Guys, he was IFCA? I didn't know that. Like, maybe if I read Ian Murray did that biography of John MacArthur when he was like 50, which is weird. I don't know. Like, I love Ian Murray. I love a lot of his works, but it's a little young to be writing like a biography of someone. I haven't read that. I wonder if it was in there. But everyone always talks about John MacArthur's dad being a fundamentalist and that John MacArthur came from that world. And people know about how he spent a year at Bob Jones and things like that. I did not know that he was Independent Fundamental Churches of America until or at least he might still be. They didn't really say. But there was a kerfuffle in 1987 and they had all these pastors get together because they were mad at his views on Lordship salvation. They might have had a point there. the fundies might have had a point. But then they were also mad about his talk about the blood and how it correlates with Jesus' death and all that, whatever. IFCA, really. But he's not a fundamentalist. I've heard that so many years. And for so many years, I was like, why is it? Because he's Calvinist. And he's hanging out with R.C. Sproul. And why is it that all these fundies love him? He's the one guy that fundies will look at. And even though he's reformed, they love him anyways. And everyone else, including me, who talks about Calvinism is the devil. So what is it about him? I thought that for years. And then I realized, listening to this thing, he is one. Not just has he become one with his mindset now. I believe that he is a fundamentalist and that maybe he's always been. I just didn't see it. But the last couple of years, he's really shown it. And on Monday, I'm going to be talking about a conversation that he had on a stage with John Piper that is so interesting to me. John Piper corrected him on some stuff. I'm going to talk about that on Monday. Yeah, where was I going with that? I don't know. But I was just so shocked that these people loved him. And now I realize that he is one and has been. IFCA, Independent Fundamental Churches of America. How did we not know that? How was that hidden? I feel like that was buried.